Welcome to the Would You Like a Cup of Tea podcast in connection with the event Would You Like a Cup of Tea, which is all about dismantling prejudice and helping to form healing and human connections within our hearts and minds by creating a safe space for diverse voices to be heard. The project is dedicated to fostering empathy and social change through sharing lived experiences, creating a connection with authenticity amongst others, and more importantly within ourselves. You will hear a variety of live podcasts that have taken place on the night, as well as from others who have come to share their stories at a later date, whilst also sharing their thoughts around the event. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Would You Like a Cup of Tea? The platform where you can come and share your authentic self and the story of how you got to where you are now, whether it be in life, in business, or to raise awareness. Sharing with us tonight is Trevor Samuels, who is the owner and founder of Health Concious UK. We are also joined by Time to Heal Directory, who will be sharing with us their role in the community and what their aims are. They will also be open to questions. They also have the quiz for you tonight with some prizes. I would also like to thank them for the support that they've given me this evening in making sure this is successful and for providing the hot meals for you all this evening. All of the teapots on your table are filled with hot water, or they have been now by you. I apologise for that. So you can just put in the tea bag of your choice. If you haven't already, let's show some support to LullabelaBakes, who has been working hard all day baking fresh cakes and brownies and cookie pies for you. You're more than welcome to go and buy a slice of cake with your tea. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, the amount of people who have turned up this evening, which I'm really grateful for, there might not be any left for you to take home, which is what I was going to say. No. Okay, right, let's get started. Right, good evening, Trevor.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for coming to join us this evening.
Thank you very much for inviting me as well.
How's your day been?
It's been good, actually. I had a relaxed day today. Usually I'm working most days, but today I had a day off, so it was good. So I had time to relax before I came out tonight.
Ready for me to bombard you with questions?
Not sure about that.
Technical glitch. It wouldn't be an evening if that wasn't the case. Yes, please, Jeff. So kind. Jeff is a regular out of mine from Would You Like a Cup of Tea? Right, hopefully that's working this time. This one is? Yep. Right, let's get back to where we were. Thank you. Right, so you are the founder and owner of Health Concious UK. What inspired you to take this path?
Health is something that I've been into for a long time. In about 2009, I came across Dr. Sebi. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine introduced me to him on YouTube.
So you've actually met him?
No, just on YouTube.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
Sent me some links to his videos, and from I first saw him, it just inspired me into alternative ways of looking at health, because it gives a totally different outlook of how to deal with health than the commercial one that we know now. So that was the initial spark to me. In fact, my sister, she had cancer in 2009, and I was kind of, even looking for some alternative routes as well, which I could look into. So when I came across Dr. Sebi, it was just like really inspiring for me. I was doing music at the time. I was a full-time musician. I was traveling around the world. I was a self-employed musician for like 12 years. So it was like in 2016, I had a little experience, and I just came up with the idea that I wanted to start the company Health Concious UK. So it's something that was actually started long before people really knew. And I started off selling like powders like maca, moringa, spirulina, and those kind of powders. So it was like 2016 that it really kicked off. And I would say, yes, Dr. Sebi, who was really the catalyst for that.
So some of the things you just mentioned there, maca, spirulina, what are all those things?
So they're like superfoods, which are very good for your health. They've all got like different purposes behind them, different uses for them. So they're just a field of products at the time, which really weren't popular at the time. People didn't really know about those at the time. So it was quite early into the natural health, era, I think, when I started that.
So can you tell us a little bit about your music?
So I think most people who know me, music is what I've been doing for most of my life. I've had several record deals, and like I said, I traveled the world with my music. I do reggae music. I was known as Deadly Hunter. I was hunting for love and peace, but very deadly about it. So, that's something that I've been passionate about since I was a child, in fact, and something that I was pursuing from I was very young. And, I'm grateful for the experiences that I've had in the music, like I said, because it took me to over 50 different countries. Wow. I toured the world basically. I got paid to do something that I love, something that I was passionate about as well. So, I feel like honored that I was able to, achieve that within my life. So it's been a big part of my life, and it still is. I was just speaking to a friend over there who saw me perform a few weeks ago. I don't really do many performances now, but I do the odd 1 or 2 shows.
So Trevor Samuels, Living the Dream Part 2 with Health Conscious UK.
Because health is something else which I'm really passionate about as well. Music was my first passion, I would say, but health is something which I'm equally as passionate about, and it's something which I was making moves towards even without thinking about making it a career. I became vegan in 2010, and I would always do like some extreme different like water fasting, and I've done many different things towards health. And it just led me to where I am today, to be honest.
How did you go about making the transition from being a meat eater to being vegan? Because,
that happened in the year 2000, actually. So that's like 25 years ago that I actually stopped eating meat. So I became a vegetarian in the year 2000, but I became a vegan in 2010. And the reason I became vegetarian, the mother of my 3 children, we were sitting down watching a documentary on the telly at the time, and there was a program about Quick Save, the old supermarket Quick Save, and talking about some of the chicken that had been seen going through there, and some other places as well. And basically, we must have went to the supermarket a couple of days after watching this documentary, myself and the mother of my children, myself, and we bought some chicken that looked really great and looked just like the chicken that they were showing us on this program. And from there, it was actually, my partner at the time who gave up eating the meat first, and I just kind of followed her, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your wife kept you in shape.
Well, I was following. I was a sheep.
Of the good kind, it's all right.
Yeah.
So CMOS, I remember my nan making that when I was a child. I'm not sure how much I did or didn't appreciate it at the time, but obviously I've learned so much more about it now from you. Has that been something that you've kept up from childhood?
No, it's not. I'm like yourself. It's something that I just know within the Caribbean community that, we knew it as Irish moss back in the days, not even sea moss. I didn't, when they started calling it sea moss, I was like, this is Irish moss. I don't even know where that came from. But, it's something that I experienced when I was younger, even at the Caribbean shop up the Oxford Road. They've been selling it since I was a child.
Yeah.
My mum always used to go to the Caribbean shop up there, and I remember seeing it inside of the shop. I stayed in Jamaica for a while, and a lot of the Rasta men would come down from the hills and they would make up their sea moss drinks that's got peanut punch and those kind of things in it. But I think for the Caribbean community, it was more like sexual health. What men was taking it for was for sexual health, and that's how we knew it. It's not until Dr. Sebi kind of popularized it and started letting people know the many benefits of CMOS, 92 minerals out of the 102 minerals, several health benefits that it's got. So I think that's when it really became popular.
So that's 92 minerals out of the 102 minerals that we have inside our body.
Yeah, CMOS has 92 out of the 102 minerals, that's right.
I've been paying attention. So. What is my next question? How long has it taken you to do all of the research, to gain all of the knowledge that you have on CMOS and all of the other herbs and things that you sell?
I think CMOS is something which you can find out the benefits in like one day. It doesn't take you a long time to really know a lot of the benefits about CMOS. Do you know what I mean? It's like many other superfoods. CMOS, like I said, 92 out of 102 minerals, really good for your gut health. You can use it topically on your skin. There's so many benefits of it, but that doesn't take long to learn. But in terms of the other information that I've learned, I would say, it's been since I came across Dr. Sebi, because I was doing my own research. I used to sit down watching the YouTube videos with my pen and my paper and actually take notes.
Okay.
And, so I'm kind of self-taught a lot of the information. It wasn't until 2017 I came across a guy in London. He's got a company called Health Restore.
Okay.
And he's got a few of the bioresonance machines like I've got as well. So he was the one who actually introduced me to that. So in the end, I ended up doing a course with him. So I've done a short course with him. And then I've done a course with a guy in America called Dr. Robert Morse, who's a very well-known naturopathic doctor as well. So I've done a course with him, and I became a detoxification specialist and a naturopathic consultant. So it's just built up over the years, but I would say a lot of it was self-taught. Even going through the courses that I'd done, I knew quite a lot of the information, but it was just like putting it in order and being able to deliver it properly.
So did you say the machine's called the bioresonance?
Yeah, so there's many types of bioresonance machines, like an MRI scanner is a form of a bioresonance machine as well.
Okay.
So, a bioresonance machine, basically, it sends frequencies into your body. Everything in the body is resonating at a certain frequency. So the machine sends frequencies into your body, and then it brings back a reading as to whether things are in balance or out of balance. So that's basically how it works. And you connect it to a laptop, and it brings back the information instantly on the laptop. And then I have to go through the results, to feed the results to the person.
Yeah. So I have had a go, and I was really amazed at how much it actually picks up. And knowing that I have had other diagnoses already from the NHS, that they also came up. So I couldn't be well, this is not true, because I knew I had the other things that had come up. So it's really amazing how it works.
98% accurate, the machine is said to be. So, and that happens a lot of the time. Many people come to see me and they don't really want to tell me what they've got going on. They want the machine to say what's going on, so they are quite surprised when they see the results come back most of the time. Yeah,
well, I can definitely vouch for it. So you don't just do CMOS, you do other things that you kind of prescribe based on the results that come from the machine. So how do you know which ones of those to put together for what?
So, through the courses that I've done, excuse me, there's a way that the human body works, which is really quite basic, and I always say you have to look at the human body like a car, and the car's got filters on it. It's got many filters. You've got your oil filter, you've got your air filter, water filters, and the human body is the same. And the way you have to look at the body is that, if you're driving this car year after year, then you need to be changing those filters. And most conditions arise when you don't change those filters. The root cause of all conditions, goes back down to really your basic, what you call channels of elimination. So they're your filters. So you've got your kidneys, you've got your GI tract, you've got your skin, you've got your lungs, your liver, and your what you call your lymphatic system are all involved in detoxing the body. And the medical system has put many big names behind diseases.
Yeah.
When they're actually putting names behind the symptoms, not the actual cause of the condition.
Yeah.
And when you really look into it, from what I've been taught, you'll see that it's the root cause, which is what you have to address. While the medical system really addresses the symptoms and not the root cause. So you'll find yourself like, it's like, you're driving down the road in your car and the oil light comes on. You're not going to put your hand over the oil light and keep driving. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because eventually something else is going to go wrong in the car if you do that.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing when you're kind of taking like normal medication, is that you're hiding the symptom, because that oil light is the symptom.
Yeah.
So, if you come down with a condition and you start taking medication for that, eventually it's going to lead to something else, because you're only hiding the symptom, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do, and I think from my own health experiences, throughout my whole life experience, I feel like I'm quite aware of my body, and a lot of the symptoms for a lot of the different things that I have are the same symptoms. So when I'm gone to the doctor about something else, and they're like, "Well, what are the symptoms? Like, how can you don't know what is what?" And I'm like, "Well, that's the same symptom for this, the same symptom for that. So how am I supposed to know which one at what time is causing me which problem?" And then also with medications, I've noticed a lot of the side effects are basically the same when you're given a medication.
That's right. And what you find is that, people end up going to the doctors for one reason, and you're never going to really get over that symptom. And it just ends up leading to more and more things. So 10 years down the line, like most people, as they get older, you end up with a big box of medication because you didn't take care of the first issue. So now, because you didn't do that, it's led to another issue. Now and the medication that you're taking is also leading to issues, because all pharmaceutical drugs are liver toxic. So it's just a never-ending kind of roller coaster once you get into that system.
And I learned something really interesting from a paramedic one time, and that is that all of medications that we're prescribed are based off of a natural herb or plant in the first place. They just aren't able to define how much of that herbal plant that somebody might need, so they make a synthetic version of it.
That's what it is. And another thing is in all medication, long story short, you had a guy called the Rockefellers. Most people have heard about the Rockefeller family, and they were into oil. And long story short, they ended up refining oil, and the byproduct from that oil was like a waste product that they was finding hard to get rid of, this waste product. Eventually the Rockefellers, they are, when you look at the root of it, the kind of owners of the pharmaceutical industries today. And what you'll find out is that byproduct from the oil is what you find in all medication today. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's terrible. Yeah. It's really bad.
Wow. What have been your biggest challenges so far throughout all of this?
I think initially when I started professionally practicing, trying to get people to get over certain of their health issues, that was a big challenge, because I knew the theory, but practically I hadn't really done that yet properly. Yeah. So, it was quite daunting at first to be giving people supplements and then wondering really what was going to happen. So that was quite challenging. But, it's been really successful.
Yeah.
It's been really successful. There's many conditions which they say that can't be reversed, which I've got nearly 100% record of helping people. Yeah. Not myself doing it, because the person's actually got to do it. So I don't want to take, take ownership for that. But, things like high blood pressure, things like type 2 diabetes, gut issues, a are quite easy things to reverse, I've found now.
Yeah.
You know, and what you'll find is that it always goes back down to your diet. And I think this is something that is hard to get people to understand, especially when they come and see me, because when people come and see me, I'm going to tell you that I want you to do an alkaline diet.
Yeah.
You know, and you think a vegan diet is difficult, then try doing that alkaline diet. It's the next level.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to have no white rice, no white potatoes, no wheat, no oats, none of these things that we believe are healthy foods.
Yeah, so that's what confuses me. So we grew up on all of these things, like hard food soup and all of that, and now suddenly you're like, no.
Because the point is that, you know, the human body is electric. So to fuel an electric body, you have to give the body electric food. And that's really what it's about. And to know if something is electric, it has to have something, what they call like the CHO or the CHO, which is the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen balance. So there has to be a particular balance of those three elements to make something electric. And, you know, through biologists testing, you can see that many foods haven't got that in it. And what you'll find is that the foods that have got that balance are foods that are indigenous to this planet. It means if it doesn't have that balance of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, it means man's had intervention in that. It's not naturally from nature, it's been crossbred, you know, and there's so many things like that that we believe are natural and from God, but they're not, you know, like chickens. Like chicken is not from the Most High. A chicken is a mixture of what they call a buzzard and an African fowl. Now, one of them was the African fowl was a bird that tasted good, but you couldn't domesticate it. And the buzzard was the one that didn't taste so good, but you could domesticate it and it would stay in your yard without flying away and running away. So they crossbred the two of them, and that's how they came up with a chicken. The same with a cow. A cow is not from nature, it's from a buffalo and a bison. They mix the two together as well. So, and a lot of things, including your foods, a lot of the foods that we eat, anything that's got starch in it, has had man's intervention. If it's got starch, then it's not from nature. And that's how we know, because it's got that carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But it has to have that balance. If it doesn't have that balance, then it's not from this planet, Earth, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, vital is vital. Do you see yourself expanding? You've already gone from just the CMOS to the CMOS now to the bio resonance machine. Yeah. And then now you have a clinic with a red light
therapy bed as well.
Therapy bed. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so definitely, you know, I think the aim has always got to be to try to be expanded as much as possible, no matter how old you get. You always got to be trying to, you know, do as best as possible, I think, in your life. You don't want to become stagnant in life. And, you know, we started, my partner and myself, we started the CMOS business when the COVID came. And, you know, I couldn't fly to do my music anymore. And I just had to turn my hand to something else. So I actually started working in a care home, first of all. Okay. And my partner was working in the care home as well. And we weren't getting on with the owners of the company. They ended up letting go of us. Okay. And we just decided, you know, because I tell you what was happening. You had people like Kim Kardashian, ASAP Rocky, and those sort of people were starting to promote it. Now you had another guy called Nipsey Hussle as well. Yeah, a lot of superstars were starting to speak about it, so it was starting to trend on Instagram, TikTok, and all of those places. So, you know, seeing that, we said, you know what? I took the same company that I'd started in 2016, although it wasn't active at the time, just kept the name, redone the logo, and just started selling the CMOS. So that was the initial step into selling CMOS. And, you know, we just expanded from one golden CMOS gel that we've done to now we do like 14 different sorts of CMOS gels. We supply shots with drinks, little shots as well. And we were doing capsules, so CMOS capsules, CMOS bladderwrack and burdock capsules as well. We started off with a few herbs. I'd actually, like I said, I actually had the machine, the bioresonance machine from 2017. So I already knew how to use it.
Yeah.
And it just was an opportunity that I was just like, okay, now that nothing else is kind of happening and I need to find another avenue, let me dive into this, you know. And I was encouraged by my partner as well to do that. So that was the kind of the beginning of it. And then we opened an office at home. We had a conservatory that we turned into an office. Yeah. And that's where I started to practice. And it's just been the last 4 or 5 months now that I've moved to a place up the Oxford Road. And we've been in that place. So it's been 5 years since we started, and I think we've come quite far. Yeah. And I'm really happy with that progression.
Good. Yeah.
Definitely I've got plans for the future. I actually got some really big plans that I want to put in place for the future, but I don't want to let the cat out the bag.
Yeah, no, I hear it. It's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so I've also got a red light therapy bed. And, you know, red light therapy bed is another healing modality which is very beneficial for many different conditions. It helps to regenerate the cells in the body. It's good for inflammation. It's good for many skin disorders. Things like alopecia is good for pain in general. It's good for, and it's actually FDA approved. And there's been so much research done behind it. So I had one imported, and we're using it now, and we're getting really good results from it.
Oh, good. Yeah. Lovely. So you have been really thorough and given us lots of information this evening. However, there is lots of conflicting information out there when it comes to food and health and drink and everything else. What kind of advice would you give to us in general about how to kind of like make this part of our lives?
I think it's about research. Do you know what I mean? I think you have to do your own research, because if you leave it down to the system to give you all of your information, like Bob Marley said something, like he said, if I was educated, I'd be a fool. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're just going to keep yourself to the mainstream information out there, then you're going to be kind of, you know, hiding yourself from other information. You really have to go digging and do your own research into things to find out for yourself. And there's like many avenues now out there where people can go and search even basic things. Like everybody's got Instagram, Facebook, and you know, not everything is 100. Yeah. But if you keep looking around, you're going to find some correlations between different people, and you know, there's many people that are getting good results, especially from the naturopathic way of doing things. So it's about trying to connect with people who maybe have had those experiences as well, find out what they've done. And, you know, I think that's the best thing you can do really nowadays.
Yeah. So because that's what's led me to you is I've done my emotional healing, I've done mental healing, and now I wanted to see if I could heal my body physically because of the amount of trauma and the impact that that's left on my body. Yeah. And after all these years, in just a few short months of the detox that you've put me on, I've already seen like a really good turnaround.
Good.
So
yeah, I'm happy. And I think that, you know, that's what a lot of people don't really understand as well, is that mental health and your physical health actually go they go together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, stress. Everyone knows, they say the saying, stress is a killer. Yeah. And stress really is a killer, because stress has an impact on you. It has an impact on what you call your adrenal glands. So what that does, it sets off your fight or flight hormone. You know, your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys, and they release cortisol and adrenaline. So when you've got cortisol high in your system for a long time, it has a bad impact, because the body thinks you're in survival mode, fight or flight mode. So the body says, I'm going to send more blood to the muscles and send more blood to the brain. So it will basically increase the pressure of the blood. So it will literally give you high blood pressure. Yeah. It says, I need to make sure that this person has, you know, energy. So I'm going to put sugar into the blood. I'm not going to allow that sugar to get inside of the cell. And that's where sugar is usually stored, inside of the cell. The body uses insulin to store that sugar, but it says, no, I'm going to keep it inside of the blood. So it actually creates insulin resistance, okay, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. Then it shuts down your stomach. it shuts down the blood supply to your stomach, which then eventually can change the gut microbiome. It can change the bacteria to more bad bacteria than good bacteria, and that can lead to like leaky gut. It can make your thyroid underactive. The body thinks that you either need to run or you need to fight, so it doesn't care about all of these other things that it would usually do. So you go into fight or flight mode. So your mental health and your physical health go hand in hand, and a lot of people end up with serious conditions not realizing that it actually stemmed from a stressful situation. That could be from somebody somebody maybe dying, split up from a relationship, and then you've got different types of stress. So you've got everybody knows about emotional stress, but you've also got physical stress and chemical stress. Somebody could be working in an environment, maybe they're a hairdresser, maybe they work on a building site, maybe they're a cleaner around a lot of chemicals. That's going to set off a stress response the same way that emotional stress will. So that's going to raise that cortisol in the same way if you're around that every day. Then you've got physical stress. If you've got an injury to your body, or you've got some kind of condition, that's a physical stressor on the body, which also does the same thing. So, stress is actually a killer as well. So it's really important to understand that your mental health really has a big impact on your physical health.
And that is true, and that's in my last book. Plug myself. Healed Living. I have brought my books this evening. They are there on the table. But I mean, since I've been doing the detox, I actually woke up one day and I just sat on the edge of my bed and I just thought to myself, is this what it's like to feel normal? So I've still got a few weeks left to go with the detox, but
that's it as well. Exactly, when you start to cleanse your body, it's not just a physical cleansing, it's a spiritual, mental, physical. It's you're detoxing everything. I remember when I was doing I've done a 21-day water fast, in fact, a few years ago, and I remember I was working at this care home at the time, and I got to probably about day 14, just water every day. And I was looking on my phone on Instagram at something was happening in South Africa. Some incident had happened. And I'm not a person that cries. I just started crying in front of people. I had to run to the toilet because, like I'm saying, and I've had many people that I've worked with as well, many clients who have experienced the same thing as when they start to detox their body, it affects them mentally as well. It makes you more sensitive. So I can totally understand. I totally understand what you're saying.
Thank you. If you would like to follow Trevor, he is on Instagram, Health Conscious UK. He also has a website, healthconsciousuk.com. And as you've heard, I've used many of his products. I'm a great customer of his with the Sea Boss. Love them in my smoothies, in my soups, everything. Does anyone else have any questions this evening?
Hi, thank you, Trevor, so much for that.
That's okay.
I can actually testify to sea moss. I always have it in my porridge and smoothies, and I didn't know much about it until I attended an event, and there was actually someone who was selling it, and the moringa powder as well. So, but I want to talk about women's health, especially a lot of, I would say, ethnic minorities, they suffer from fibroids, for instance. And I'm all about women's health and trying to understand what prevents them from going back and dealing with the organs and stuff like that. I really want to know, is there anything or any of your remedies that women can use and the older they get? Just something I wanted to ask.
I deal with majority of women actually. Thank you for your question. There's a majority of women that I actually deal with. And firstly, I would say, after doing an alkaline diet for a month or two, you'll actually find that your cycles will change. A lot of women, their cycles change. So just naturally giving your body the right foods, because there's so many things out here, what you call endocrine disruptors, when you have something like fibroids, when you have cysts, polyps, endometriosis, all of these things are estrogen dominant conditions, high estrogen in the body. And there's so many things out there which mimic estrogen. So things like plastic that you might get your takeaway food in or you drink water out of, those things have got estrogen mimicking chemicals inside of them. Polyester is something else. Like the clothes that we wear, polyester, excuse me, has got estrogen mimicking chemicals as well. Tofu is the same. Soy. There's so many products out there that's got soy in it as well. All the animals that we're eating and the fishes, now that they're farmed, the farmers want them to be as big as possible so they can make as much money as possible. So they inject them with bovine growth hormones, which are estrogen dominant. So, there's so many things out there which can affect that estrogen dominance. And another one is stress, again, because when a woman gets into the menopause stages and close to that menopause stage, your ovaries no longer produce that estrogen. It's now your adrenal glands that I was talking about that produce that estrogen. So when one of your hormones is out of balance, it can send the rest of your hormones out of balance. So just being in that stress state also can cause your estrogen to go out of balance. So there's many different things which you have to look at when you're dealing with those things. So, the first thing you're going to do is change the diet. Always you're going to change that diet. And then after that, you would try to use what you call adaptogens. And those are herbs which balance hormones. If something is too high, if a hormone is too high, it's going to bring it back down. If something's too low, it's going to bring it back up. So you've got things like maca, you've got ashwagandha, something called tulsi is another herb which you can use. And all of these things balance hormones in the body.
Thank you. Thank you for the talk.
That's okay.
It's similar to what Anna said. What would you say the first step would be if you're experiencing, say, issues with your lungs or your kidneys or just energy in general? What would you suggest? What's the first step?
I think your diet is always the first step. You always got to address your diet first because all disease starts in the gut. Like I was saying earlier, you always have to look at the root cause. When you develop these other issues, it's always because of that root cause. And it's always, I don't know if you've heard that before, all disease starts in the gut. Once the gut microbiome, once that balance of bacteria becomes more bad bacteria than good bacteria, that's where disease really starts. So we always look at the gut first, and then you look at your channels of elimination. So you make sure that you cleanse out your kidneys, your lungs, your lymphatic system, and your liver. All of these places have to be cleansed as well. And what you'll find is once you do that, literally all conditions go away, and it just really depends how toxic your body is as to how long it will take for that condition to go away.
Thank you.
Thank you for the talk. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
You might want to get a pen and paper because I have a few. So I just wanted to know, first thing, what is your main statement with the vegan? My other question.
Shall I answer that one first?
Okay, yeah.
So I do mainly fruits, to be honest. So I always do fruits in the morning for breakfast. I always believe that you should have fruits. That's your energy source. So you want to be having fruits in the morning. Most of the time I don't have a proper lunch, but I will maybe have some nuts or something like that. Then in the evening time, I will have my main meal. So, I eat pasta. It's not the greatest for you. I eat pasta, quinoa. I don't really eat beans. Most beans are man-made. Yeah, they've had man's intervention. It's only really garbanzo beans, which are chickpeas, or your lentils are the only kind of beans that you should really be eating, because the other ones leave the acid residue behind. So that's it really. I do a lot of juicing and I do a lot of smoothies as well. And in a year I'll always do little cleanses for myself. So I'll do a little parasite cleanse, or I have my bitter herbs which I'm boiling up. yeah, and I just try to keep up with, that's my main kind of diet, really.
Okay, thank you. My other one was quite surprised to hear about the soya.
Yeah.
So what do you have as a milk alternative?
As a milk alternative?
Yeah.
There's so many. You can do like coconut milk, you can do almond milk, you know, there's oat milk, it's not the best one, but you know, there's oat milk. There's like, there's lots. They don't agree with you. You have to maybe.
Soya was dried rice, coconut, oat, and soya seems to be the best one.
Check out the brands as well that you're using, because a lot of the brands have got lots of different products inside of it as well. So, you know, try to get one. There's one called Root Health, and it's only got 4 ingredients in it. So maybe there's something else inside of the other ones that you are using that might be causing you not to agree with them, or, you know, it depends like what else is going on in your body. Is there any other foods that maybe are not agreeing with you as well?
Yeah.
So maybe it's not, maybe you've got something called leaky gut, because what happens a lot of the time is when you get a lot of allergies and you get a lot of you know, things that don't agree with you, a lot of the time people have leaky gut, and what that means is that in your small intestines you've got a part called the duodenum, and in there now that's where your vitamins and minerals are going into your blood to be taken to the cells. Now the little gaps, they've got these things called villi. These gaps can become too wide, and when they become too wide, things start to get through that shouldn't be getting through, and when the body sees it as a foreign body. So the body ends up having an immune response. Okay, so the issue might be that you have a leaky gut, you know, because most people that have those allergies and stuff have got leaky gut.
Sorry, just before.
Yes.
Sorry. This is my show. It's right. She's my cousin. It's fine. I just wanted to jump in and add in a little something there as well. I think also when you change something, it takes a while for your body to get used to, and I feel like it's a healing crisis. There's such a thing as
there is, but that's when you start to detox your body. When you start to detox the body and you start to go into like a deep detox, then you can have a healing crisis. But it shouldn't be just like normally, like you just changed to try this and eat that. That shouldn't be. You shouldn't, you know, have a reaction in that case.
Okay, thank you. You can have it back now.
My last question was: do you have like a starter pack that you start people off with?
You know, I think that, you know, it's always good to start, like I said, with the gut, with parasite cleanse as well, with all about parasites and those channels of elimination that I'm talking about. So what you'll find is that anybody who comes to see me, they're always going to get a gut and cell. They're always going to get the one for the gut. They're always going to get a parasite one. There's certain ones that literally everybody gets because that's the root cause of nearly all issues, is those filters have become blocked and we need to clean those filters. So, will I have to have an assessment, or can I just go online? Like, we've got all of the products on the website. There's not a direct starter pack. It is something that I'm going to do, but we haven't got one on there currently, which is a direct pack that you can just as a starter pack. No, but it's something that I need to do, though, to put it on there. So, watch your space, okay?
Any other questions? Yep.
At the beginning about your clinic,
yeah.
Very interesting that you said you had a place down at Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like a drop-in centre or?
No, you have to make an appointment. It's basically down Wilton Road, which is off the Oxford Road. But I'll leave you the website, and I've got a couple of cards. And if you go onto the website, you can actually book through the website, and you can book a time and a date on the website as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It's okay.
It's very good and interesting.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi Trevor.
Hiya.
Yeah, very good, insightful presentation.
Thank you.
I did a 40-day break fast, and so I do know about the healing crisis.
Yeah.
I was telling my friend about it. Anyway, so one of the questions that I wanted to ask was how important it is to reduce the inflammation in our bodies, and how do we do that?
You know, it's very important to reduce inflammation in your body, and when you've got inflammation, it's a sign that the body is toxic. It's a sign that there's stagnation inside of the body. And it goes back down to what I'm saying to you, which is it's all about those filters, because once your lymphatic system becomes stagnant, you've got something called lymphatic stagnation that causes inflammation, because basically your lymphatic system is where it's like that's where micro waste goes. So after your cells have taken on the vitamins and the minerals, the waste from them has to go into what you call your lymphatic system. And from your lymphatic system, it will go to your lymph nodes, where it will be broken down, some bacteria, and then it ends up coming out through your kidneys. That's where the waste will actually end up coming out. If your body if you get lymphatic stagnation where that waste is not coming out, and that usually happens because the kidneys are not filtering properly, okay? And the kidneys are something which can be showing no signs of damage but still not be filtering properly. If somebody's having pains in their kidneys, excuse me, it means that they've got chronic kidney issues going on if you're feeling pain. So somebody's kidneys could be operating at 20% and it's still not showing any signs. So, what I'm saying is that lymphatic system could be stagnant, and that's acid waste, and once that acid is sitting down inside of around your cells, it's going to cause inflammation, because acid is the same as in nature, it's hot. Acid is something that's hot, so it causes inflammation. So you need to first of all, like I said, change your diet, open up those channels of elimination, especially the kidneys. Okay, that's what you need to focus on, kidneys, and then focus on the lymphatic system as well. But always with the plant-based diet, alkaline diet as well.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you
for sharing the story. Round of applause.
Thank you.
And I know it just goes against everything that we've discussed, but please feel free to have a break. Go and buy some cake. No, well, I'm trying to support a new business as well at the same time. LullabelaBakes, who is a mother of two, and she is slowly making her way out into the community, and this is her first event, so I have to, thank you. Right, we will have a 5-minute interval, and then we will be back for Time to Heal to come and do their piece. Yeah?
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, get what? Good evening again, everyone. Thank you for staying. Thank you for supporting the new business. And thank you for coming. We are now on part 2 of Would You Like a Cup of Tea, where we are joined by Pauline from Time to Heal Directory. Can you tell us a little bit about Time to Heal?
Yes, so Time to Heal is a not-for-profit therapy organisation. So we started in 2020 after the killing of George Floyd, and I actually founded the business, and at that point I said to myself, Black people need to heal, and that's why it was called Time to Heal. So we've been on a journey. We've been on a 5-year journey as well, like Trevor was talking about. When I started the organisation, I was an accountant at that time, so I was working in an organisation, getting promoted. I didn't have time to work in Time to Heal, but over the years, it's got to a point where we now have funding, and we're now supporting young people and families in the community. So when Time to Heal was first started, it was all about healing in the Black community. It's been on a bit of a transformation, and it's focused on supporting families, but it is also about healing in the Black community, and that's why I'm really glad that we got so many people here today.
Yeah, and so there's 2 different types of healing we've discussed, but they are both very important. They both are connected to one another. Can you tell us a bit about what George Floyd has to do with, what was it about that?
It was the injustice, the trauma. You know, that's what it was. I felt quite despaired by what was going on, and the fact that, you know, I was working in an organisation where they didn't actually see that that was an issue, and that hurt even more. So that's where Time to Heal was born. It was like, we need to heal as a community. It's so important.
Yeah, and so obviously we all need to heal as a whole, especially us as adults. Because it doesn't just impact our children, it impacts the people that come up underneath us in workplaces, co-workers, no matter where we are, what we're doing, healing is going to be important to every situation. What is it in particular do you think it is the Black community is struggling with when it comes to healing?
I believe there's still stigmas. So I've been on my own mental health journey, and at that time there was a lot of shame around that. If you were struggling with mental health, depression, at that time I was seen as if I was mad, you know. So I went on my own journey and I actually healed myself. I'm a trained psychotherapist now, and Time to Heal has got lots of therapists out there and ready to support people in the community. So when you think about our referrals, so we've had a number of referrals come through Time to Heal, and about 6% are from the Black community. And for me, that's an issue. You know, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. So, you know, my question to the audience is, why do you think that that's not happening? Like, why do you think that we're not healing enough? What's behind that? You know, you asked me the question. I'd love to ask the audience.
Yes. Okay. So someone's got an answer.
I think you kind of touched on it. There is still, unfortunately, a stigma, and a lot of people, although they recognise that they need support or help, are very reluctant to access it because, again, it is the shame and maybe bringing up things that they've kind of pushed to the side, which will, it's scary, and there's a fear attached to it. So I think it's a combination of things, but definitely stigma and shame is still quite high, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Anyone else? Yeah?
Thank you, my mum. I think we've been trying to heal now for 500 years. But what compounds it is pride. So we don't want to say anything to anybody. So we suffer in silence, but now people are here talking about it. But in my day, we don't talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to support what Jeff is saying, I've also had the same issue. I mean, I've healed through a lot of things myself as well, but the amount of people that I've lost and who have disconnected from me through that process, where they think I should have shame because they feel it, they're embarrassed, sweep it all under the carpet. What is said in the home stays in the home, and I've done the complete opposite of that, and obviously gone to the full extremes and wrote a book and everything else. But yeah, it is scary, and there's not a lot of support out there. So I'm glad that your company is here.
Yeah.
How would we go about getting support from yourselves?
Yeah, so Time to Heal, our model is about healing families. So when I did my training, I was working for an organisation that, it was a young people's organisation, and we had young people coming in, doing the work, but they'd go home into families that weren't supporting that healing. So Time to Heal was about collectively healing families together. And I know we've got people here who've done referrals for us as well.
Okay.
And we've had some really positive feedback as an organisation. I was just going to share some of our client feedback.
Okay.
We asked some of the questions around what specific changes or improvements have you noticed in yourself since starting your therapy. Someone said, I feel more motivated and that I'm not alone with my struggles. People said calmer moods and emotions. Some people said, I have the language for the cause of many things in my life. So that's just a bit of the feedback that we shared, has been shared with us. And, you know, we have had positive feedback, and, you know, we're on a mission. Like, we're quite small at the moment, but we're going to go for more funding. We do have someone from Time to Heal here, and I know he might not want to speak, but he's been a really instrumental in doing some of the work for us. you know, we work a lot behind the scenes as well. We put a lot of work into it. But yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. So you've all got a bit of paper on your tables. I did want to start off with something very different to start with, because when it comes to Black History Month, in the corporate world, there's usually a theme to the year, and this year's about standing tall in power and pride. And what happens in the Black community, sometimes it can feel like we're victims, but we're not. So what I want to do, I know we probably won't get to everyone, but I want everyone to share something that they feel really prideful about us as a community. Because I feel like we need that energy in our communities. We need to, you know, highlight how great we are, right? Because it's not an easy world. So I'm going to start.
Just before you start, I'm just going to add as well, I think it's really important that we show some gratitude to our allies who are here this evening.
Most definitely.
As well, because this was advertised as a Black History Month event, but obviously not everybody here is Black.
Exactly, allies are so important, right? Yeah. Allies are like, it's like diversity. There's power in us together, and that is what we have, strength together. You know, when we're separated, that doesn't work. Let's come together. So, and the people, you know, it's not just about the Black community, like you said. So let's talk about what we feel prideful about. Yeah. And for me, it's about our resilience as a community. We're strong. We're really strong. So I'll start with that. What would you say?
I think at this particular moment in time, it's the readiness to show support. So, because throughout my life, support network is not something I've had, and my audience are not my friends, but they are becoming my friends and family, because I have regulars who now attend everything that I'm trying to do. So yeah, the willingness to be open-minded, to try to understand and to listen, and to put in their own positive actions for themselves off the back of what we're doing.
Amazing. Who else would like to share? I think we're going to go around, and maybe one person from each table.
I would say I'm really proud of our culture and our music, and of course our food.
Someone off of this table? What do you feel? Yeah, what as a community, what are you proud about?
Even everyone, I think as a community, I think I'm proud about ethnic minority leadership.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you don't see a lot of, especially in corporate places and in big boardrooms. And I think that's something that I'm proud of.
Thank you, because it takes a lot to get there as well, doesn't it? Someone off this table, or maybe a few?
For me, what I've seen over the years is our people now wanting to talk about mental health and how people are suffering, and being open about their mental health and talking about it, and being more aware of other people's problems and their struggles. And that used to be hidden many years ago, but now we're talking about it, which is really great.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else on the table? Because it's quite a big table, so maybe one more person. Something you're proud about our community for? Just one thing, yeah.
Yes, I'm proud of how the spaces shared with the women who are going through menopause at the Central Library every first and third Friday of the month from 10 to 12.
A great plug.
Yes, all plugging their events is welcome.
Right, I'm going to be really quick round here. Who wants to, and yeah, just what are you proud of? Yeah.
I'm proud of, I work in the domestic abuse field. I'm proud of the last few years I've seen so many black women come to refuge and leave abusive relationships. They're letting go of the stigma and the shame and the bias that is against them, I suppose, in society. So I've seen a huge increase, I'll say, of black women come through our doors, which is brilliant.
That's amazing. Do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm very proud that despite everything that's happened and that is happening, we have not forgotten the language of the drum. From the baby to the adult, You hit the drum and we move in a certain way that is unique to us.
Amazing.
So master over there.
One more person over here? Yeah?
I just want to say I'm kind of proud of the cohesion that we are having within Black communities. And also, I think we need to think about the bigger picture. I notice a lot of the African members are realising actually that they don't need to rely on the West and that they have their own strength and their own assets and can progress on their own. So I'm proud of that.
Perfect. Yeah, of course. That's okay. Yeah.
Hello everyone. The first one is I'm proud of one of my sons who is a student paramedic. He's half Caribbean, half Asian, and there's hardly any paramedics that are Black Asian like that. And he has himself said that so many Asians and Blacks are not reaching out in the healthcare. And every time he talks to them, he's helping them to do that.
That's amazing.
The second one is I think that it's amazing that a lot of the Caribbeans are doing the DNA test and finding out where they're really from. That's really helping them with that identity and roots.
Yeah.
And it's happening a lot. Like my son did one and he's like almost all Nigerian, not Caribbean.
Amazing. Anyone else want to share? Anyone else? Okay, we're good. Oh, sorry.
I think Jeff touched on it, but I'll say creativity. Yeah. I'm very proud of the creativity that we have in all areas.
Perfect. Yeah.
Just being a proud African woman and not forgetting my roots, despite the fact that I am in the UK, and just trying to tap in and encourage and network with amazing organisations such as yourselves and spread the word out there that you are willing to let anyone, open for your doors. So what you're doing is really incredible.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so I know, do we have time? I'd like to do this. I know it might be quick, but you've got this on your 7 steps to healing. I like to get people to do the work. I want you to come away from today feeling like, oh, I feel different. So have a look at the sheet. And it's actually Dave that come up with this. Dave's the ideas man in Time to Heal. He has really great ideas. 7 steps to healing. I want you to just think about, there you go, Mayasha, you can have that.
Thank you.
Choose one thing you want to change, because this is all about healing. This is about doing the work. And sometimes we shy away from that. Choose one thing you want to change. So, it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to climb a mountain. It could just be that you just want to feel like you're more confident or you believe in yourself more. So choose one thing and just write it down. You've done it? You should all have pens as well. If you don't, let us know. Okay, and so I want you to think about what is the cost of not doing that. Because Time to Heal is about generational healing. And if we don't heal, if we don't start the work now, what are we leaving for the next generations? What legacy are we leaving? Are we leaving more trauma? Are we leaving anger, hate? What are we leaving for our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren? So have a think about that. And think about what would your life be like if you made that change as well? Like, what would it be like? Just what difference would it make in your life if you made that change? I might be speeding ahead, but you're going to be able to take these home and finish them off as well. And I've got some other handouts. And if anyone wants a Time to Heal, it's a bit of a journal, but a small one, because it was a journal that actually saved me. I did a lot of journals. I've got mountains of journals at home. So there's one for everyone if you want to take one away with you. So if you think about what's holding you back, what's stopping you making this change? It could be many things, but, what do you think is that biggest thing that's making you hold back? And then also think about what support do you need, because, on my journey when I was going through some really tough times, it was the support that I had around me that helped. So that's the difference with Time to Heal as well. We're an organisation, we offer free therapy, but we don't want to just let people go after they've had therapy. We want to take them on a journey. Like, you know, it's almost like helping people to take their stabilizers off when they're ready. We want to be able to support people until they, you know, are ready to do that. That's really important. It's not just about, okay, you got your 10 sessions, okay, thank you, that's it. That's not what we're about. We've got a commitment to people. And think about, okay, this is the important one. What's one action that you can take this week? Because when you take that one action, you know, you're starting something. So what one action can you take this week to start that change? And we'll finish off with just thinking about, yeah, what do you want to say to yourself different to what you've been saying? You know, what does that look like? You know, being totally transparent. Mine was, I think I've kind of got through that now. I'm good enough. You know, a lot of us don't believe we are, but, you know, so that could be something, or you'll have your own because you're unique in that right. So yeah. So that's a little bit of the work. I know I might have sped through it, but hopefully you've been able to get some stuff down, and this is the first step, right? It's the first step to making that change in your lives. And that step can be huge. It might feel small, but, you know, you're taking yourselves on a different path, if you want to call it that. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating in that. And we got something a little bit more fun. We've got a quiz. So, and there's a prize. If anyone likes sweet, I know Trevor's probably looking at us thinking, what are we doing? Okay, so I'm just trying to think how we're going to mark this now. I think it's going to be by speed, the first person that puts their hand up. So there's 5 questions. The first person that puts their hand up, and then we'll tot it up. I think I need some adjudicators, Michelle and Charisse, maybe? Okay. So it's a Black History Month quiz, okay? So, right. The first question, so get ready if you want the chocolates. Who was the first black woman elected in the UK Parliament? Okay, one person, hands up.
Jeff was first.
Okay, Jeff? Yeah, correct. Okay, question 2. Which British actor won a Golden Globe and BAFTA for his role in Luther? Simone, one person. Idris Elba, yeah. Simone?
Simone, yeah.
Okay.
I'll fight you.
Right, so the next one.
Yeah.
Who founded the West Indian Gazette and helped establish the Notting Hill Carnival?
Adrienne.
Oh. Yeah, correct. Okay. So 2 more. We got some decided questions, so let's see how we get on. So, which athlete made history by becoming Britain's most decorated female track and field Olympian?
Sorry, Shazia.
Denise? No, not Denise.
Sorry, no, with the star jumper, you had your hand up second.
No, not Fatima.
Who else? Jeff?
Kelly Holmes, yeah, that's it. Right, actually, let me do another one because I think this is too easy, this one. Okay, let's see. Okay, which London-born actor played Finn in Star Wars, the movie, and is known for speaking out about racial equality?
Adrienne?
That's it?
Well, we need to decide a question.
So we got 2 all, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the last question. Okay, so the last question is, which British footballer received an MBE? So it's Adrian and Jeff, yeah? Okay.
That's it, on the edge of your feet, ready?
So, which British footballer received an MBE for campaigning against child food poverty?
Jess.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Okay. And there we go.
Right, lovely. Thank you very much, everyone. So remember to follow Would You Like a Cup of Tea on Instagram. The information is on the board out there. It's Weilercott for short, with the little dots in that between. Time to Heal Directory is also on Instagram. You can follow them.
And
Trevor, oh, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to add, there's some flyers on the tables. If you scan the QR code, so we offer free therapy, so you can scan the QR code and check if you're eligible. But usually it's for people on low incomes or on benefits, but we also offer low cost therapy as well, so that's also available too.
Trevor can also be followed on Instagram under Health Conscious UK. I can also be followed on My Voice in Power, if you're not following me already. And yeah, you are free now to roam, mingle, take in the exhibition before it comes down, which is up from my book launch, Chilled Living. And my books are also on the table if you'd like to have a look or purchase any. And don't forget to buy some more cake. Thank you.